Greetings and welcome to Obby Live. In today's stream, we're going to be taking a look at community context notes. I'm sure you've heard them. I'm sure I've heard them referred to as tramp stamps, although that might be something different. Anyway, we're going to look at why some content on social media gets labelled with a note, how they're generated, how accurate they are, and we're going to ask, have they, in some respects, become like a badge of honour to certain, content producers? Also, what's my opinion on them? Are there some positives to them? If you happen to be a content creator like myself that covers subjects which could be considered contentious, are there some, positives, as I say? We'll have a look at that at the end of the stream. That'll be my summary, if I remember. I do tend to sometimes go a little bit off script and ramble a bit if on these streams, particularly at the end, so hopefully I won't forget. We've got the live chat open. If anyone wants to leave a comment, you're always welcome. I'll bring it up on screen and we will be checking it every so often. I'll certainly try and keep track of anyone who takes the time to comment in the live chat. Right, I'm just going to make it a little more readable. Yeah, that helps. Okay. Yeah, so community notes. If you're not familiar with them, I get them occasionally on my channel. They're on a few of my videos, one of which we'll have a look now if we bring up our display. This video I did a year ago. Let me see the exact date. October 28th, 2022, I made this video about the NHS pushing climate change lies. That was the title of my video. And it was a reference to the NHS changed a load of inhalers for people that have conditions, inhalers, bronchitis, all sorts of reasons why you might have shortages of breath. The NHS claimed it was to do with reaching carbon net zero. What's carbon net zero? Well, if you watch my videos, for example, you might come to the conclusion that it's kind of just a scare tactic designed to find ways of, say for example, charge the NHS a stack of money for these new environmentally friendly inhalers. How much more expensive do you think they cost the NHS than the original traditional ones? Anyway, this video warranted a as I said, has anyone else ever heard him called a tramp stamp, or is that something, or is that to do with a tattoo? I'm not sure. Anyway, we were told, according to the United Nations, rather than my video. Yeah, in fact, they link us to the United Nations website and we get to learn all about climate change. So you can completely ignore anything I might have said about it being just a money-making scam, and instead you can get on with believing the mainstream. Right, I'm just going to turn our background audio off a minute. Right, yes, so my video. So what are they? How are they generated? We do actually have a document. If you click on to Google, they do inform us that no, they're given an example. In response to the coronavirus disease 2019, you may see information panels which link with links to learn more about BS19 or the vaccine. In some places you'll notice info or vaccine info in local languages with links to local sources such as health ministries or centres for diseases, more likely than not World Health Organization. When you search or watch videos related to the topic prone to misinformation, such as moon landings, you may see an information panel at the top of your search results or under a video you're watching. This is specific to YouTube, actually, although they're certainly not the only platform that have taken up this idea of informing their users that, you know, don't just believe what you see in a video, which is brilliant advice always. So information panels show basic background info sourced from independent third-party partners to give more context on a topic. World Health Organization, are they a third-party partner of YouTube apparently, but I'm not sure about being independent. I'm just putting it out there. Is it possible the World Health Organization are funded by pharmaceutical companies, for example? I'm not sure. We'd have to have a look at how the World Health Organization are funded. Or is it all done via public money? In which case we don't even get an option to whether we want to donate or not. Okay, these info panels will show regardless of what opinions or perspectives are expressed in a video. So they're not just there to discredit what the actual content producer's putting out. Instead, they're just there to give information in countries. Right. However, bear this in mind. Despite YouTube putting these warnings on videos that enter on a subject, like they said, which could be open or is open to regular misinformation. That was the word they used. Misinformation, they actually linked with the moon landing, meaning that for some reason they believe the misinformation is given to you about the moon landing. Yeah, never a truer word had been spoken on that one. Right, but YouTube doesn't endorse or create any of the info shown in the information panels on YouTube. If you disagree with with information in a particular article, please contact the website owner that published it. If you see an information panel that violates our community guidelines, send us feedback. So that's kind of a bit like your... speaking, as we got onto the subject, this is particularly talking about the BS19 vaccine. As we're on that subject, it's kind of like your doctor's surgery, for example, send you messages every so often telling you, oh, by the way, you're entitled, like it's a good thing, to one of our products. You know, we want to give you a vaccine. We've got vaccines to sell. Would you like to come and have one? And then after saying that, when you then ring them up for an appointment or something, the very first thing that they say on the auto-generated message is, like, because it's an answer machine that answers, and then you've got to put in option 1 for this, 2 for that, and the very first thing they'll tell you is, please don't ask us any questions about the vaccine. We're not here to talk about that, making it very clear, despite the fact they promoted it by texting all their patients to tell them, what was it they said, like, I can't remember what wording they used particularly, something along the lines of, you're eligible, I think they said. You're in the age bracket who are now receiving BS19 jabs. And then, despite putting that on under their videos, they just want you to know that if you've got any problems, if you disagree with any of the articles, contact them, not us. It's, I don't know, I would say passing the buck a little bit, like that doctor's surgery I mentioned. Who, coincidentally, were the same people that bought us, where was it? Yeah, the same doctor's surgery sent this rubbish out about reaching zero emissions by 2040 and to reduce it by 80% by 2028, and then giving us a tiny little image, and that's this. You'd have to watch the video. I'll tell you what, I'll put a link to it in the live chat as well as the description if anyone wants to see it for themselves. otherwise, right, let me do that 1 second. Link to inhaler vid. If anyone does find themselves on this live stream tonight and they want to leave a comment in the live chat, that would be appreciated. It'd be great to know someone's out there tuned in, which hopefully you are. Okay, so we will go back to community posts. Yeah, as I say, the other thing we were going to look at, how accurate are they? This one here, actually coming off YouTube now, we're looking at Twitter. They call it something different. And if you so happen to even so much as like a tweet, then, and someone adds a community note, then they'll certainly let you know. Actually, where did this one originally, let me show you the Twitter page it came from. Here. Not a particularly interesting video in my book. It's basically some pigeons that happen to fly over the, this is the bridge that collapsed, and then the pigeons just vanish into midair. And it's basically a, yeah, it's a cut in the film. And now fortunately, because I liked that video, what was it originally saying? Matt Wallace, this one is. Someone recorded this moment on their TV when two birds appeared to disappear. Yeah, I would totally say that's just the editing. In the movie, and then it goes on about Obama's movie, Leave the World Behind. I can't say I'd even heard of that. I didn't know the Obamas had brought out a video, but a film, but apparently they have. And that mentions something about a cyber attack. So I think they're claiming that the bridge attack that happened in Baltimore last week, was it last weekend or last Tuesday? I think it was. Sorry, Tuesday before last. And yeah, and people are suggesting that there's all sorts of footage to suggest it's a cyber attack. Not any story I would particularly go along with, but for some reason I liked it. Probably just to save it for future reference, but there was a community note, of course. News organisations routinely use looped footage during coverage. This is a shot of the bridge using a tripod. Perspective does not change. When the video loops, birds are no longer there. An unfortunate and poor looping edit. That was the note we were given to explain the goings on there, and yeah, I would kind of agree with that. That is probably looks accurate to me. That isn't what they originally told us was the case though. How much gibberish and garbage is this that they write? Region of interest encoding allocates different amounts of bandwidth to different parts of the frame based on importance or activity level. The compression algorithm sees that the sky doesn't change much, so it allocates resources accordingly. Did it think someone was talking about how the sky didn't change? I'm not sure. Either way, that kind of post tells us absolutely nothing. So they changed it to what we now see on there, which is of course telling us it's a poor editing loop, which as I say, yeah, I agree with that outlook on it. But this kind of makes me wonder if it's AI generated to the point where this in no way, ResearchGate.net publications, we could perhaps look at this supposedly. Well, YouTube claimed that they used independent third parties. Oh, what have I just clicked on there? Goodness knows. Right. So, well, yeah. Also referring to other ones I've seen, as I said, my videos haven't been hit by that many labels, as you could say. However, another one to look at is obviously, if you put a video up about climate change, then regardless of what you're saying about it, they'll put a little note on there just to let you know, refer us to, where was it they sent us? The United Nations, a third party, independent. Yeah, good one. Humans are responsible for global warming. The most idiotic statement going. Climate scientists have shown that humans are responsible for virtually all global heating over the last 200 years. Think about what that statement's saying. Any heat that the Earth has had is only around because of humans. Never mind the sun heating the land. No, humans. Virtually all global heating. Now, of course, a lot of people would have an issue with the word global. But it does very much sum up this article to a T. Human activities like the one mentioned above are causing greenhouse gases that are warming the world faster than at any time in at least the last 2,000 years. What a claim, man. As if there's any record of temperatures from 2,000 years ago. How are they basing any of this info? Oh. We didn't put our display up, my apologies. Hopefully it wasn't like that for too long. Nathan, great to see you in the live chat. Thank you for tuning in. Great to have you with us. Yeah, Nathan, by the way, I'm guessing your videos that get hit, probably every single one gets hit with a community context note. We'll have a look at that one in a minute. And anyway, yeah, forget 2,000 years that we've got evidence that humans have increased the temperature. This is what they're saying, basically. The temperature has gone up because there's lots of humans. Mental. The average temperature of the Earth's surface is now about 1.1 degrees C warmer than it was in the late 1800s, before the Industrial Revolution. Like that made a difference to the environment, let's say. For example, one thing I hear about pea supers, that would be one way in which humans have perhaps changed the environment to change the temperature or weather conditions, but that certainly was only temporary. I remember hearing about that subject in school. Apparently the fog and smog was so strong and thick around the areas where, like, they were making, doing all the Industrial Revolution, in all the places that took place. They created, like, really thick fogs to the point that in London, I believe they couldn't, like, buses had to stop because they couldn't see where they were going, or transport had to be shut down. It was that bad. So yeah, pea super. Does that anyone else reference it to that? As in, so it looked like you were wading through pea soup fog, I think it was called. Nathan says he's all ad friendly. Really? I thought if you put the word flat earth in any video, you instantly got a stamp, but we'll have a look at that. Because as they say, just having a stamp doesn't mean you're not, as you say, ad friendly, but unless, you know, having one of these stamps means that you can't monetize, I'm not sure. Right, anyway, going back to pea soup fog. Killer fog, a very thick and often yellowish, greenish, black fog caused by air pollution that contains soot particles and the poisonous gas sulfur dioxide. The very thick smog occurs in cities and is derived from the smoke given off by the burning of soft coal. for home heating and industrial purposes. Smog of this intensity is often lethal to vulnerable people. Sounds very familiar, this, I'll just say that. Such as the elderly, the very young, and those with respiratory problems. Yeah, I've heard all this before, I'm sure of it. Just can't think where. The results of these phenomena were commonly known as London particular or London fog. In reversal to the idiom, London particular became the name of a thick pea and ham soup. Interesting. Historical observations, 13th century, 1800s, and so, yeah, we're going back. Literally 2,000 Londoners literally choked to death. No wonder they put that in inverted commas. I bet there's not one shred of like history to back that up. Well, who knows, we'll see. With more than 1 million chimneys, I've got to say, nothing like a coal fire. I've said it before, the most amazing heat temperature I've ever had in a house was where one night I had to stay out in the sticks, as you would call it, in the like middle of nowhere at someone's house, and they had a coal fire, and I slept on the sofa in the front room with it, and yeah, beautiful temperature, warmed the room up like perfectly. I would take a coal fire over a radiator any day of the week, but anyway, of course you then have to put up with being choked to death by smog. Okay, the difficulties of driving through the fog were vividly described in Autocar magazine. Okay, so humans have changed the environment, let's say, to the point, but even after this, you can still have like crystal clear days. Just talking about crystal clear days, and to give a nudge to a video I put out a few days back, we had what I would refer to as a crystal clear day the other morning. The sky was, you know, like a nice deep blue colour, a sort of colour I hadn't seen for years, but it is often very cloudy now. Right, yeah, I want to see then, if Nathan claims he has no comments on his videos, I would say congrats. Let's have a look. Okay, yeah, see, I would believe that just having this word up here, actually, we'll let the ad play through. Yep, there you go. You got one, Nathan. If you're still in the live chat with us, you're still watching, what do you think to these words? What would be your response? Hang on. Remember, yeah, we ask about the accuracy of these these comments that they give us. Let's really zoom in. Make sure you can see it. An archaic and scientifically disproven conception of the Earth's shape as a plane or disc. Any issues with that statement? Is that accurate? Yeah, no, not for a second would be my call on that. Many ancient cultures subscribe to a flat Earth cosmology. Sorry, cosmography. And the model has undergone a recent research as a conspiracy theory. The idea of a spherical Earth appeared in the ancient Greek philosophy with Pythagoras. Yeah, there are... Now, I don't even need to ask. You could just say, I mean, you guys on your wonderful show often mention, you know, you're often defining what and pushing the actual true meaning of making this claim that something's scientifically proven or disproven. And of course, I'm sure you would disagree that any experiment has or would change the, you know, detect. There's Nathan's lovely face. There he is. Yeah, was, of course. I'm going to put a link to this particular show if you want to check out the tramp stamp for yourself. I'll put a link in the live chat a minute. Let's bring the live chat up. Right. By the way, Nathan, thanks for taking the time to comment. You are like 1 in a million, literally. I'll just put FED video. And yeah, Nathan was kind enough to join us on a Open Lines episode I did a little while ago. And I'll probably be doing another one I'm going to try and do them maybe every 4 weeks, once a month. Maybe I'll do it on a Sunday night, I'm not sure. But either a Sunday, a Tuesday, or a Thursday, is the nights that I'll be live streaming, one or the other. And I will be doing another open line soon. So yeah, if you're around that night and you want to come back on, or you and anyone else watching, be amazing to have you join. Again, why not just put a link to that video? Okay, yeah, so we have kind of briefly touched on, there it was, we touched on the subject of, I can't think what they're called now, community context notes, and they're, and yeah, are they necessarily a terrible thing? Or are there some like positives to it? As a content producer myself, I would say if the option is to have a video completely taken down, as they used to do apparently, if a complaint was made or something was flagged for some reason or another, and they wanted to, then they would automatically take it down, and you would then have to appeal in order to get your video put back up, which did happen once. It changed. Having videos removed for these reasons, like because you're covering things like COVID-19 or pandemics or vaccines or any subject that, as I said earlier, could be contentious, could cause anger and people to report your video for some stupid reason or another. Rather than have it just instantly taken down, I would much rather they put one of these comments underneath and let people know the official narrative, as it were. Let people know about out-of-date, archaic, what was it they said? Yeah, archaic, out-of-date concepts. Which, of course, is utter nonsense, but that is no doubt what most people would consider. Who are they going to believe? Someone on YouTube or a a post on the World Health Organization? What are people more likely to side with? Unfortunately, no matter how ridiculous the statements being made are, how inaccurate, if we kind of just finally go back to the World Health Organization's page, we've looked at YouTube say on it. We haven't actually looked on Twitter, because as I said, I get messaged on Twitter now that a post I liked has been flagged. Where is that? On here somewhere. Here we go. Readers added a community note to a post which you replied, liked, or reposted. They added a community note to a post which, Prince William has no say in who is awarded honours. This came as the same criticism I made was about what a joke. Being given. Oh no, I'm not. Yeah, that's not a subject we're covering on this video. But what was said about the royals and their links with people receiving, MBs, knighthoods, it got flagged. Commons, library, and then they obviously give you a third party, independent company that want to provide information to you about how the honours are generated. Although, to be fair to Twitter, they didn't try and they haven't as yet told us that it's third-party content. So contributors are people like you. Anyone on X whose account meets the eligibility criteria can sign up to help. All contributors start with the ability to rate notes, and over time they can earn the ability to write one. Notes aren't chosen by majority rule. Community notes identifies notes that are found helpful by or for people, just like that other note they put up, which was very quickly changed because it made absolutely no sense. X doesn't choose what shows up, so yeah, they're doing the same thing YouTube did and say, not us. If you've got a problem with community notes, don't talk to us about it. Go to a third party. A collaborative way to add helpful context to posts and keep people better informed. X doesn't choose, yeah, and then they go again. They don't moderate it. They probably just hand it over to AI, and that is why you end up with some kind of nonsense like we saw earlier on in this one, where it's kind of saying the same thing. It's going on about the bandwidth of the video you're watching and claiming the reason why the pigeons disappear is not bad editing. It's actually something to do with, where are we? Where was that video we watched? Yeah, which I totally agree with. This has nothing to do with cyber attacks, obviously, which the original text tried to claim it was. But yeah, they were talking about Obama's film. Perhaps they were actually just plugging Obama's film. What happened in the film? Birds start acting crazy and highly unusual ways after a cyber attack shuts everything down and causes a massive container ship to crash. Yeah, to be honest, on the subject of this crash, I couldn't say too much myself. I've not looked at it closely. One bridge incident I did look at closer was the one in Russia. I can't think what it's called now. Crimean Bridge, that was it. When a truck blew up and took out massive concrete pillars. But yeah, the Twitter went all over anyone sharing videos about this subject. Okay, we will be bringing this stream to an end in just a minute. I've only got one. I do, as always, at the end of each stream, have a couple of people I want to thank. Nathan, for being in the live chat. Cheers, mate. Nice to know someone's watching, at least, even if no one else is. Perhaps community posts aren't, sorry, community context notes aren't that popular. And yeah, where's my little image that I put up of thanking a few names that have in some way or another said, yeah, you know, keep going, keep your live streams coming. So yeah, thanks to these people on the screen now. Okay, I'm gonna start wrapping up right now. And yeah, just say, if another way you can, yeah, if you want to show your appreciation for this video, let us know you thought it was alright, then hitting the thumbs up button is always appreciated. Subscribing and sharing likewise. If you've got any thoughts on it and you're watching after the stream, then by all means leave a comment in the comment section. I will be back at some point with another stream. Thanks for taking the time to tune in. Have a good weekend. Observe the Sabbath day. Start sundown tomorrow. Take care. Over and out.